Hi guys, so today I just want to share with you that I've seen this story before. A Filipino, he has been living here in the U.S. for like 31 years, and he's the probably the longest illegal Filipino who's living in the U.S. His name is Jose Vargas, and I believe he's from California. He first came to the U.S. At the age of 12, and then his grandparents are both Filipino American citizen, and they reside in California. And then Jose mother or parents decided to send him over here to live with with the grandparents, and they have somebody accompany him, and then they also got him like a fake paper like green card. So of course, he's only 12. He doesn't know very much about this, like passport, anything like that, documents. When you're 12, you don't pay attention to that. So I understand that. And then when he was 16 years old, so he finally decided, he said, hey, you know what? He need to get a driver's license. He need to start driving. He went to the Department of Motor Vehicle, and then presented. You have to present your document. Presented his green card, and then they find out that the green card was a fake. So they told Jose, your document is fake. You better get out of here. So that's what he went back home. Of course, he was shocked. He was shocked, and he was scared. Now what does he do? You know, he's been living here for 4 years now, and almost like adapted to the American culture. And then I believe he's also started school. So and somebody, and then 3 years later, at the age of 19, he need a job, and then. But the problem is he doesn't have a document. He doesn't have a green card or green card. So for other people doesn't understand what is a green card. Green card is it's a temporary. No, it's a permanent resident. Green card is a permanent residence, and then usually when you arrive here, you get the temporary green card. And then after 2 years, that will convert to a permanent green card. So and then after 5 years, then you can apply for a citizen. Um, so when he turned 19, he decided that he's gonna start working. He's look for a job, and somebody just told him that don't worry about without with no paper. All you need to do is when on the application, on your job application. I do remember that when you're applying, they will ask you if you are a citizen, and then if you say yes, you check yes, and then I think that's it. But if you say no, then you have to say, do you have a work authorization or a green card? And then when you say you have whatever, if you have uh, uh, a green card or a work permit, you have to present that. So somebody suggests to him, just check the box, you're a citizen, and no more question asked. And that's what he did. And I just learned it now. This is all, it depend on the state. In California, basically because it's a sanctuary state. They are not so strict. And then if you are, let's say you're on here in Florida. Florida is very, very strict. They're gonna find out if you are telling the truth or not. Just like me, my driver's license, they can tell that you are a citizen or not by just looking at your driver's license. I find that out by accident. I was voting, when I go there, and I said, okay, I was gonna vote, and then I said, "Do you want to see my voter ID?" He said, "No, no, no. I just need your driver's license." So I gave them my driver's license. When after they look at the driver's license, and they will like flip the screen for you to double check. When they flip the screen, I was shocked that it's already my information is already there, and then it will say that you are a citizen, U.S. citizen. I was like, wow, it doesn't say on my driver's license, but when they punch in your information, there, on the system, it show, if you are a citizen or not. So it's all depend on state by state. I'm supposed that in California it's totally different because they are not allowed to ask your immigration status. For what I understand, I've seen video that people were went there to vote, and they were because they were just trying to expose it, and then when the voting place asks like, oh, what is your name, how old are you, what is your address, and he just kept telling them, like say my address is like 123 123 007, something like that. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure about my address. Do you want to see my ID? And they keep refusing to check on his ID. It was so funny. Anyway, because they are not allowed to look at your ID. That's it's kind of silly, if you think about it. But anyway, so I'm just saying that it's all different. The older I get, I get the more I find out here in the U.S. So anyway, so that's what he did. He put on the box that he is a U.S. citizen, and then he just go on with his life, living like a American for many years until he ran into some problem again. I know at one time he was arrested in Texas. I am not quite sure the reason why was he arrested. Did he went out, go out of the out of the country and try to came back, and then but he was only detained for like a 1 day, and they kind of let him go because sometimes then that's it depend again. It depend on the state. Sometimes they are not so strict. And then if you are even you are illegal here, if you don't commit like a crime, they usually very lenient. They say okay, they just let you go, and then sometimes they don't even report you to the what we call ICE now. Before we call it I think we call it before INS. Now it's called ICE. They don't even report you. Again, it's all depend on state by state. So going back to Jose, so he tried to he tried to so many try to get legal here in the U.S. For some reason, he was not very successful. I'm not quite sure. I think people have asked him about that. By the way, Jose, he's a good-looking guy. He's young. I think he's now in his 40. He's what we consider in the Philippines like a mestizo. Mestizo, if you see him, I mean, yeah, I'm going to put his photo anyway on the thumbnail. He doesn't look like a typical Filipino. He look like a mestizo, or some would think that maybe he's a Spanish guy or Mexican. He's looked like a foreigner. Anyway, so people ask him, why don't you just get married, something like that. I'm sure you find somebody, a citizen. Why don't you just get married? I'm not quite sure if he answered that or not. But anyway, according to him, he did not, he was not able to do that, to get himself legal. And then in 2012, okay, so he came here in 1993 when he was, when he was 12 years old. And then in 2012, President Obama, knowing that because so many, there's so many people who came here when they were, like a baby, or maybe when they were young, when they were still children, uh, they decided to create like a waiver. It's called DACA. DACA is something that they would. It's DACA is also, I think, called a dreamer. That is for people who came here to the to this country when they were young, and then have stayed here in the U.S. So almost it was, you were also almost consider almost like a, they're a citizen, because many of them will speak like almost like, American. You will not even know that they are not American. Because kids, they're much easy to adapt to, to the language much easier. Uh, un, Unlike when you're older like me, I came here like when I was 25, so it's kind of more difficult for me. I still speak with an accent. So in 2012, that's what Obama did. Created a kind of a waiver. It's called DACA. Unfortunately, DACA does like a cutoff. The qualification is you should be under 31 years old. And at that time, Jose, I think he was 3 months, 3 months older, or 3 months, out of that cutoff. So he was not qualified for DACA. Can you imagine that? Those. I mean, I'm listening to his video. I can feel the pain, and his emotion. I can feel his pain, because I know personally. I know people, even here in my community. I know, he was. I don't know him personally, but I know the place he worked. It's a very famous pizza place in Palm Beach, and the man was almost identical like Jose. This guy was from Mexico, and he came here, when he was young, and then he got deported, and then he came back again. I mean, I think he got deported twice and then came back, and then got married, and he's working. He basically he's a good good, what do you call it, citizen. Or the only mistake he has done or committed was crossing the border. But other than that, he was um, a law-abiding citizen. And then he got married. He was married to an American woman, and they have 3 kids. And then I think that was like maybe, I believe like maybe 8 years ago, I saw that in the newspaper, and then he was under deportation. And that was heartbreaking. I mean, he married. I'm not an immigration expert, but he married an American U.S. citizen. I don't know why can he, get, papers, and then he has 3 children. They have 3 kids, 3 beautiful daughter. Maybe now I'm just answering my own question. Maybe because there's a 10-year ban. Maybe that's what holding up. Because otherwise he can change his status from illegal to, by marrying an American citizen. He can change the status, be covered by his wife. But I think it was the 10-year ban, because at one time, I believe, I can't remember what year, but there's like we have a law. If you have stay here in the U.S. Illegally, if if you don't leave, you're gonna get a 10 years ban. And now I think Tom Homan just increased it to 20 years or 25. I'm not quite sure. But now, if you don't leave the U.S. and stay here in the illegally, once you get caught, when they send you back, you're gonna be banned for like 20, I think 20 years now. It's double. Used to be 10 years. Maybe that's the reason he cannot change his status. Yeah, that's the unfortunate. If you don't leave, you're gonna have a 10-year ban. That was before. Now it's 20 years. So even now, let's say now you live here illegally and then you don't leave voluntarily, and they caught you, even you have married a U.S. citizen or somebody have sponsored you, or let's say your family sponsor you, you cannot change your status here in the U.S. And you go back to your country, you cannot change your status because of the 20 years ban. That that is that is very hard. That is it's really very difficult. You're gonna face a 20 years ban right now. So anyway, going back to Jose, so he was not in the qualify with for DACA, so that was very unfortunate. Anyway, so he start to keep looking, and then just last year somebody, a friend of Jose, told him that the Biden administration have came out with a new waiver. It's called the D3 waiver. The D3 waiver is it's also like it's almost like a H1, I think. No, D3 waiver. What is D3 waiver? I was just reading. D3 waiver is a waiver for the 10-year ban, because remember this was before is the 10-year ban. So the D3 waiver is to that can you can use that for your 10-year ban if you have a stay here illegally, and you're has a cap, like a 10-year ban, that can be waived using a D3. Or D3 is also what, if you lie about your whatever your immigration status, like Jose, he lied. He checked the box of being a U.S. citizen. So that D3 also can waive that, kind of wipe out, almost like a pardon. And then at the same time, so he got a chance. His friend told him about the D3 waiver, and then at the same time asked him to apply for a O1 visa. O1 visa is almost like a H1 visa. This is for people with extraordinary skill, maybe a writer or a scientist or something like that, or engineering. I think that's I'm not for what I understand, it's for extraordinary skill, maybe a professor or a teacher or something like that. So he applied for O1 visa and also the D3 waiver. But in order to to get this visa, the new visa, for him to be able to stay in the U.S. legally, he cannot change his status here in the U.S. He has to go out of the the U.S. and to a consulate or embassy. So of course, being here in the U.S., he decided just go cross the border to Mexico, and that's what he did. He flew to Chicago and then to San Diego, and then his friend, because since he used to live in California, his friend, I think Gabby, took him to cross the border and went to Mexico, to Tijuana. So they got there in the evening. So the next day they went to the U.S. embassy and then start to for to see an immigration officer to see if he can get the D3 waiver and also the O1 visa. And then after the interview, of course, he's like he was saying that he waited for like I think like 1 hour or something like that, but it feel like 4 or 5 hours. And they asked him a lot, those top questions like why didn't you try to, you've been living in the U.S. for like 30 some years. Why didn't you try to like try to be legal? Find a way to to get documented. But and then he was unable to do that. What else? They also asked like, how can we trust that you're gonna honor your visa? You may, after we give you, let's say if they give you the 3 year visa and then after that expire, you may not honor that, and then you might, continue to stay illegally here in the U.S. But he said, no, no, that, he's been living here illegally too long. He just want to, correct, and then go straight and, to find a way to legalize his status. Anyway, to make it short, they approved his visa, both visa, the D3 and also the O1. So on December 30, 2024, last year, his visa was approved, and it was good for 3 years until November 17 of 2027. Well, it was a beautiful story, beautiful story for Jose, and then now, he's free. He's back in the U.S. and then he's doing a lot of podcasts. He has try to bring awareness of illegal immigrant life in the U.S. It's very it's very heartwarming. And I'm happy that he was able to from illegal to legal, and so that's for me it's a success story, right? But now on the part two, I want to talk about what is Jose doing right now. I think I'm gonna separate the video. I'm gonna do a part two on Jose, but this is this is part one. So let me know your thought. Do you know anybody that has been living here illegally, and then what is your thought about illegal immigrant? Are you against or are you in favor? So let me know. Just comment below. I'd love to hear your opinion on this one, on this subject, which is very it's a hot topic right now, especially with the new administration. So just comment below. Thank you again, guys, for watching. Take care. Stay safe. Bye bye now.